Awesome. So welcome everyone. Uh, Thank you for uh, joining us for our first webinar around Microsoft To Do. Microsoft To Do has been around for a bit, and it's kind of a cool product. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and we thought it was something that you might enjoy using, so we put together this webinar. Um, so there's going to be some questions you're going to have as we go through. That's me. That's what I look like for those of you that have never met me. We're going to go through this. We've got everyone muted. So if you've got questions, please put them in the chat and then we'll respond to those. And then if there's anything that you want to ask at the end, we'll open up and unmute everybody if there's any questions for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the slide deck on kind of what is Microsoft To Do, kind of high level, how does it operate, some of the cool features and why we're sharing it with you today. And then we'll do a bit of a demo and show you kind of live like how it works. All right, so good. So let's kick in here. After the presentation, you're going to get a survey, and we really want to know how this presentation went for you. You know, your feedback's really valuable to us, and so if you can please complete that survey, and then in exchange for the survey results, we will send you a copy of the presentation and a link to the video of this. So thank you. So a little bit of, you know, where does Microsoft To Do come from? It's really part of Microsoft Office. And so for those of you who use Microsoft Office, you've got a pretty good understanding of this. For those that you that don't or are thinking about using it, really what Microsoft Office is, it's a subscription service to Microsoft's technologies. It's called a cloud solution because Microsoft hosts and manages these applications and all your data on their servers and their data centers around the world. They have a 99% plus uptime guarantee, and Tobin Solutions can help you with support around that, migrating anything to it, administering it, security for sure. We're in a security first world here at Tobin Solutions. Maybe there's some development you're looking to do or even integration with Microsoft Office. There's actually some interesting integrations you can do with Microsoft To Do. And I just love that picture of the Swiss Army knife because that is what I look at Microsoft Office as. Really, it's got so many tools and really, you know, while you can, you know, poke a hole in some leather with one of the many tools here on the Swiss Army knife, there's really only one that's really designed for that. So you want to make sure that you're using the right tool for the right job, and so that's part of where Tobin comes in and helping you figure out your process, figure out what you're trying to get done so that you can use the right tool for the right job. If you want to buy Microsoft Office 365, you can get that through us if you aren't already. They have a lot of different tiers of service. Normally this slide has 3, and we actually added a 4th tier here. So a lot of our clients have the Business Premium or the Business Essentials. Microsoft has something called Microsoft 365 Business, which is a little bit more per month, but they're really adding on security. They've added some advanced security features and mobile device management that really protects you in a way that you may not be protected in the past. So if you're very interested in that, you know, you can let us know. You know, Microsoft Office 365, there's so many ways you can get at it from the cloud. What's going on here? Just skipped a slide. Oh, I hope I don't have the timer turned on here. If there is, I might have to try and turn that off. The Microsoft Office 365 is your experience really alters a little bit from where you're accessing it. So we want to kind of point that out because sometimes people are doing something inside a Macintosh versus a Windows computer. Maybe they're doing it on an iOS device, you know, or an Android device. Maybe they're using Internet Explorer or Chrome or Firefox, and there's always some little differences that happen here and there. So, you know, kind of want to point that out just as we're going through this. When I do the demo later on, we'll be doing it from inside a web browser on Firefox to give you a sense for how this operates. But just so you kind of keep that in mind, Microsoft used to have the motto that we were only going to run on Microsoft approved devices in a Microsoft world, and they've kind of changed their mission that really they want to expose Microsoft's products and services to devices of all types. So whether you're on an iOS, Android, a Mac, you're going to have a great experience. And as they develop those products, sometimes they might add a feature to the Android version before they add it to the iOS version, or vice versa. So just kind of point that out as we go through. One of the things I've been discovering, so I don't know if you're like me, I suspect that some of you are, in that, we have a lot of to-do lists in life. You might have your work to-do list, your home to-do list, your personal to-do list, your workout to-do list, whatever that looks like. And we manage these in different ways. Sometimes, and I've done all of these and still do some of them, right? So sometimes I'm putting these things on my calendar as to-dos. So I go on my calendar and I add these items on there. And that works to some extent. Sometimes I send myself an email. Anybody ever do that? To remind yourself to do something, or send yourself a text message to remind yourself to do something. Or maybe you're making notes in a notebook, like literally, a handwritten notebook with a pen and paper, or maybe you're doing it in a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. However that looks, there's different ways of handling that, and it really points to that for some of us, we have these to-do lists all over the place, which can definitely get confusing and kind of a challenge to manage. And a challenge to get them complete sometimes. I've got some things on my to-do list that predate my teenage children. So, it's something to want to get some of these things done. For me, like, it's just so satisfying to be able to check off something is done, especially a big item. So what I'm hoping out of this is, if you take a look at Microsoft To Do, you're going to see maybe a new way to manage your to-dos and get more things done and be more satisfied with the things you get done. So a little bit about what Microsoft To Do is. It is this kind of intelligent to-do list, and it's going to let you manage all of your tasks in one place. And so it centralizes them. So all these tasks that are kind of showing up in different areas, you can put in one place. And we're going to talk about this My Day feature that's really cool. That really, if we've got lots of to-do lists, how do we really focus on what's urgent, what's important, what needs to be done now? So Microsoft To Do has some features and functions around that to actually have that happen. Uh, I kind of make a little joke here with the Shakespeare, much ado about to do. You can add as many tasks as you like, but you can also set due dates and reminders. You can star the ones that are important. You can even take a to-do inside of Microsoft To Do and break it down into smaller pieces. And if you're an Outlook user, all of these automatically appear in Outlook as tasks, and vice versa, as you'll find out. So it's kind of a neat feature. When you see the demo, it'll be a little more apparent how it operates. And what I love about this is, again, it's available on my phone, it's available on my tablet. And so even if I'm somewhere where I don't have my full computer, I can see all of my to-dos and get a lot of work done and get things accomplished, which is really, for me, what this is all about. So yeah, to kind of point this out again, because this is the power of it, is these Microsoft To Do is available on Windows. So there's actually a Windows app for it. If you want to run the Microsoft To Do app, you can find that in the Windows App Store. It's not a native piece of Microsoft Office right now, other than the tasks that show up in Outlook. There's also an iOS To Do client that got recently released, and then on Apple and iPhones and Android devices, there's apps as well. And it's all synchronized. and it's all the same. So you mark something done on one, it's done on the other. You add it to one list, and you bring it to, and then you go home and you open it up on your phone, and you'll find the same list there. So the fact that it's synchronized and you're able to do all of these features and more or less and from every location really creates some nice management options and really being able to stay on top of your list. So one of the things that, if you're already doing tasks in Microsoft Outlook, it integrates nicely with it. There are some things inside of Microsoft Outlook tasks that it doesn't support yet, but it does support a lot of features, and they keep adding more and more. So it kind of depends on how you're using Outlook. So while you might put a task in Outlook, or you put a task in To Do and it shows up in Outlook, there's some features that are right there and work both ways, and some things that won't be there. But again, the main thing is that it integrates with it. So if you're already a Microsoft Task user, a Microsoft Outlook Task user, using To Do will give you some new power in actually managing those tasks in a way that you can't do it right now with Outlook. And I'll do the big reveal on that in a bit. That's just one place you might have tasks. If any of you are using OneNote, OneNote has the ability to put checklists in. If you're not using OneNote, we have another webinar on that. We encourage you to look at OneNote. It's a really cool product from Microsoft for doing all kinds of things. And one of the things you can do is you can put a checklist of things in there. And it's kind of a standalone thing. And if you go on one of those checklist items, you can actually right-click on it and say that it's an Outlook task. You can flag it. And when you do that, it'll actually take that OneNote task. It'll stay in OneNote so you can see it, but it also shows it as a task in Outlook. And as I said before, since Microsoft To Do works with Outlook tasks, you've in essence been able to take these OneNote tasks and have them flow all the way through to Microsoft To Do as an Outlook task. So that's a cool feature. If any of you are using Microsoft Planner, great. We've also done a webinar on that before. Microsoft Planner is a built-in task-based project management system built into Microsoft Office. And it's pretty cool. It's got some really neat features for organizing projects and creating buckets of tasks and to-dos for those projects and assigning them to different people, including yourself. And it's a very powerful, lightweight project management tool. And the items inside of Planner are called tasks. So if those are assigned to you, wouldn't it be cool if you could see those tasks again inside of Microsoft To Do? And sure enough, you absolutely can. So again, you've got those tasks in Outlook, you've got those tasks in Planner, you've got those tasks in OneNote, and you can see them all in one place inside of Microsoft To Do. So it's really simple to create a task inside of Microsoft To Do. And if you want to start doing all your tasks from that way and managing your tasks there instead of inside of Outlook or inside of Planner, you can totally do that. When you do a demo, you just simply click the plus add a task button. And once you've done that, you can just put the name on there and just create a quick task list. But you can also add due dates, you can add reminders, and even make them repeating. And you can break them down into other steps. You can say whether they're important or not. You can add notes and tags. You can move these tasks around between lists, and you can even reposition them inside of a list. And it's really kind of a user-friendly way of being able to do all of that, which you'll see as we go through a demo. So it really gives you a way to kind of create these lists and move them around, depending on what kind of person you are. Some of us are the okay, I got to plan my day. I'm going to go grab the nearest piece of scrap paper out of the garbage, or maybe I've got a notepad sitting on my desk and I'm going to make my 3 or 4 item list and I'm going to go through and do those things today. Microsoft To Do works great for that. Some of you like to think a little more deeply about it and you want to sit down and, okay, what is this task I've got to do? And are there some other subtasks and when are these due? You can do that as well. So depending on, no matter what kind of to-do list person you are, that's uh, available for you inside of Microsoft To Do. Um, and then inside of To Do, it also has this idea of called lists. So that's a neat thing, right? Because you might have like a to-do list for work, right? Maybe you've got some projects you're working on and you want to mark those to-dos down. Great. That could be one list. You could have what's called your work list. You name it, and then you start putting the tasks underneath that. Maybe you've got another list for home. So maybe you've got, the honeydew list or uh, something else you're working on at home, a home project. You can create a list and name it home or name it vacation planning or any of those kinds of things. And you can create that list. You can name it. You can put those things, those tasks underneath that list. So you can start to bundle your lists up. I'm sorry, bundle your tasks up into a more easily organized format for yourself. And once you're inside that, you can then share the list with other people. So maybe you've got some tasks in there that are just for you, but maybe you want to share it with your significant other. Maybe you want to share it with someone else on your team. You can actually, once you create these lists, you can share them back and forth, which is kind of cool. So maybe you're working on something today, or maybe you're working on a project with somebody for the weekend and you guys need to get 5 or 6 things done. Who's got the ball, who's doing what, who's got the play, and you can actually share that and check stuff off. You can get notifications on your phone or inside the applications of things that are due or things that are added to it. You can search and sort and customize them, and you can even create groups of lists. So you might have, we talked about before about having a list for home. Some of us have lots of things going on at home. So there could be the home group, and then inside of that group, you create a different list. Maybe you create a list for uh, your auto repair. Maybe you create a list for, if this is at work, maybe you've got your list group of work. I'm sorry, your group at work. And then inside of there, you've got a different list. You've got one for marketing, one for sales, one for a new product you're developing. But you can group them together and sort them so it makes it really easy to get these together because, some of us have a few items on our list. Some of us have tens or hundreds of things on our list of to-dos. And so being able to organize things this way will allow you to make that more manageable. I'm going to take a sip of water here. Any questions while I do that? Okay, great. So one of the cool features, so if you're like me, you've got lots of to-dos, right? I have notebooks full of to-dos. I've got lots of to-dos inside of my Outlook and inside of my OneNote and inside of Planner. What are the ones I want to work on today? What are the ones that, uh, what are like the 3 things, if I can get these things done today, it's going to be a heck of a day. What are the ones that I've just got to get done today because I'm going out of town tomorrow? And how do we plan those without copying and moving and all of that, keeping them where they are, but deciding what it is we want to work on? And Microsoft To Do has a really cool feature for that. It's called My Day. So every day when you open up Microsoft To Do, the My Day is a blank slate. There's nothing on it. And that's your opportunity to create. So you can literally just go into My Day and start adding tasks. Hey, today is, Tuesday. I need to meet with a client. I need to finish a report. I need to close some business. Whatever those things are, I can put them on there as tasks. And then the next day, those tasks don't disappear, but they're not on your My Day anymore because tomorrow's a new day and I want to, I want to start with a clean slate. So even if those aren't done, they still disappear from the My Day screen, but they still stay out there as a task. Um, so every day you can start fresh. Um, but it's got this little light bulb up in the top. And when you click on that, it actually brings you a list of all of the to-dos that you've already got in the system. And so if you've got a due date on there, it's going to, it'll show you those that something's due today. It'll offer you that as a suggestion. Well, you put a due date, maybe let's say there's a proposal you want to get to a client. I want to send my proposal to ABC client, and you created a to-do for yourself like a week ago that it needed to get out today. Well, if you put a due date inside of that to-do, it's going to show you that as one of those suggestions for what to do on the My Day. And what you do is you hit the plus sign here, and what it does is it just shows up on the My Day. That's all. It doesn't move the to-do or the task. It doesn't do anything with it. It just puts it there as that's what I'm working on today. And then you can go through your list of all those items and then put them on the to-do list for the day and then start to work through them. You can, depending what kind of person you are, and what these things are. Again, some people, if they can get 3 really solid, high priority things done, 3 urgent things done, it's been a great day. For some of you, you might have 20 things to do today, and you can drop all 20 on the My Day and just have just that view. So when you open up your My To Do, you're not going to see every single to do out there from every single system and get overwhelmed with all the ones that are a year old or 2 years old or the ones that are due out in the future. You're just going to see that My Day view. So it's a really powerful organizing tool. And there's even some evidence behind it. So some studies show that your peak alertness, your deep thought time can happen about 2 to 4 hours after you wake up. So some of us, you got to get your day going after 2 hours. But really, like planning your day, planning your next day, planning your week, Microsoft To Do is a great place to do that. And in the morning, you can sit there, and after you've kind of gotten your day going, or maybe you're one of those people that gets up and you wake up, you work out, you get your kids ready for school, whatever it is, and then you've got that, you've been up for a couple hours, and now it's time to think, hey, what have I got going on today? You can actually open up your Microsoft To Do, go to that My Day page, and then start picking out the to-dos you want to work off of. So it's really cool. So I really invite you to try it out, see what it looks like for you. Uh, all the data's in there. It's all, like I said, it's probably already in your Microsoft Outlook under tasks. I'm going to show you some other ways that people operate that Microsoft To Do works really well with, and some cool features there. And then give it a try. Uh, there's some good books on the subject of time management and getting things done. And these aren't specific to Microsoft To Do, but if you're interested in some other strategies, and almost every one of these books at some point talks about, creating a structure for yourself to actually fulfill on what matters to you, what's important to you. And so with Microsoft To Do, sometimes it is that structure. So some great books. If you haven't read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, classic book, powerful, impactful book for a lot of people, not only at work, but in their whole lives. I got introduced to a book recently called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, kind of a short book. It's 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more things done in less time. And sure enough, there's inside of that book, they talk about using a powerful to-do list. And then I recently saw James Clear speak at a conference about atomic habits. And he talks about building habits, and one way to build those habits is by having a really solid to-do list process, so that you can, on the to-do list is, guess what? Those habits that you want to have done. So let me show you a little bit about what some of these look like, and we will go from there. Okay, so right now I am logged into Office 365 through a web browser. So if you go to office.com and log in with your ID and password, you can get into these things. But this is, it's a similar experience whether you're using the full desktop version of Microsoft Outlook But just for purposes of this, I put it in here. So I'm logged in as a demo user called Tobin Demo. I have way more things in my inbox than this, but I want to give you an example of some things. So, when you're inside of Office 365 and you click this upper left start menu here, that's the app launcher, or sometimes called the waffle menu, you're going to see the different apps that Microsoft has, including Microsoft To Do. So that's what I'm logged into right now. So when you go into it, I go into My Day, it's blank. Got nothing on the My Day right now. But I do have some things sort of already set up here that I'll walk you through. So one is just the general task list. So these tasks, and it's got the little house there, which I'm not sure exactly why it has a house there, but those tasks, those are the ones that are directly inside of Outlook. So if I go into Outlook and create a task, it's going to show up on this list. It's the exact same task. If I add a task here and say, okay, something simple as that. I clicked and added a task. That task, now I've got 6 tasks, is now going to show up inside of Microsoft Outlook as well as here. And I just typed in something quickly there, click the add a task. So it's very easy to start building your task list. If I want to do something with this, like I want to click on it, I've got some other options here. So first of all, if this was something I wanted to do right now, today, I could add this to my day view, but I could set up a reminder or a due date. If this was something I was going to do every day, I could set it up to repeat. If this was a document I was working on, or there was like some materials that I needed with it, you can actually add a file to it or even notes to it on what it means. So that's just a really simple way to get into the tasks. Now I mentioned that Microsoft Planner, which is also included with just about all the Microsoft Office 365 subscriptions, and I've got that open in this tab here. You can see I've got some plans here, and one of the plans I've got is the website plan, and I created a couple of tasks here that I assigned to me, right? I assigned it to Tobin Demo. So this is a website plan that we're working on, and one of the tasks is to contact the designer about our logo. The other is to call Tobin about our website. I don't know if most of you know, but Tobin can also help with certain types of websites and help you get those done. So if I go back to do, and I've got this other icon, this is like the planner icon, it says assigned to me. So that call Tobin about the website, that contact the designer about the logo, those are set up under the assigned to me. Okay. So I've got these tasks, and I've got these ones that are assigned. Now, if you notice, I also have a couple of other lists here that are set up. So one is called the important list. So that might be another way you might classify what your tasks are. So in this assigned one, I said, I really got to contact the designer about the logo. This is pretty important. So I click the star next to it, and guess what that does? That automatically shows it up on the important list. So that's one way of working in with your list. You could sit there and flag the ones that are important to you. Maybe they're the ones that need some deep thinking. Maybe there's some ones that the ones you've been kind of resisting over time for whatever reason, but it's still important to you, but it's kind of a big item, and so you want to be able to kind of just keep it visible for yourself. You can add it to that important list. Again, it's the exact same task. If I click on that, it's going to show those items. It says open in Teams, and it's going to bring me right over there. But if I do it over here, it's the exact same information. So again, it's not duplicated, it's just on another list, just exposed to another list. If something's got a due date on it, then it shows up in the planned list. So you can have tasks that are just tasks, right? Those someday tasks, those parking lot type tasks that you want to do for the future. And if there's ones you want to actually add and you plan them, then you put the plan date on here. And you can see these are ones that are earlier as well as today. And you can see where they're coming from. So it's powerful. You can another view of those things that these are ones you actually have planned, because some people operate by due dates, right? So that's great. I also created this list called the company party list. And these tasks show up under here. I just went and said create a new list, called it company party, and added some tasks under there. And again, I can click on those, and if I say, look, this is one that is, I got to order the, I got to set a date for this. Like, this party is not going to happen unless I set a date, and I say add a due date, and I'm going to say it's due today. Oh, look, my plan just went up. It was 4, now it's 5. I've now got my set the date under the company party list. So it's cool, huh? How are some other ways that people operate? Microsoft is starting to inquire about that. What are some of the to-dos? What's the source of some of the to-dos that we get? Well, for me, one of the sources of to-dos I get are emails. So a client sends me an email, hey, call me about the project. I click the flag here, and I flag it as an email. If I go back to my planned, here's the flagged email, call me about the new project. And if I click on that, oh, look, it actually shows me here it is. I can set a due date on it. I can actually go over to Outlook and open it up, and it brought over the notes automatically. So that is powerful. And they added that feature, and they keep adding more features. I'm waiting for them. I've actually requested they add the feature where you can flag a contact, and then in Outlook, and it'll automatically flag that as a to-do in here, because you can already flag contacts, but right now they don't synchronize here. So if I say, hey, look, I got a Pepper is hungry, we got a dog Pepper at home, and I really got to remember that I got to get dog food for her. And so I can hit the flag button. And now if I go back to the flagged and reload that, oh, there's the flag. Get dog food, due today. It's got a little, there it is. I can open it up in Outlook if there's more information. I can add a note. Put those in there, give myself some notes, that kind of a thing. Right, so you can start to see where these tasks start to show up. You can get them from different areas, get them all in one view. And this is very much what it looks like from your iPhone, from your Android device, from your iPad, or even from the Windows app. So it's cool, right? You can get all of those. But again, this is just a sample. If this was like my real life, there are dozens and dozens of tasks under these. These numbers are not single digits. They're double digits, and some are verging on triple digits. But which ones do I want to work on today? So here becomes the My Day tab. So you open that up, and right now, even though I've got some assigned to me that are due today, right? I've got these assigned, or I'm sorry, planned, and these are all planned today, but they're not showing up on the My Day because My Day is a unique list. Whoops. Right there. There we go. So under My Day, here it is today. I can go in and change the list options for this and have my tasks in here. Now, if I wanted to start adding a task, I can absolutely do that. So if it's, let's see, order concert tickets. Like maybe I was on the coming in and on the radio, I heard my favorite band's coming to town and I want to order concerts. I could just drop it right on the My Day thing because I want to get that done today. So when I do that, it's there. It actually even shows up under the task list here um, to get it, but it shows up it came from the My Day. And that's useful. But again, that's a new task. That's something brand new that just kind of popped up today. What about the stuff that's on all these other lists? So a great way to do it is to click this light bulb icon. And now it brings up all the tasks that I have over here. And it tries to be smart about it. You know, it says, look, these are ones that are due later. These are ones that are due earlier. Like, oh gosh, I did not purchase my plane tickets to Hawaii. And we're supposed to get a little snow today. It's not quite the snowpocalypse they talked about, but you know, it's still winter in Wisconsin. I would love to get my tickets to Hawaii planned. So I'm going to hit the plus sign. And if I hover over it, you can see what it's going to do. It says purchase plane tickets to Hawaii, add to my day. So I click that. And now it took it off this list as kind of a suggestion, but it's still, and now it's moved it over to, it's create a view of it over under my day, but it's still under the overall tasks, but it's just showing up here as my day. Maybe there's something else I want to get done here. You know what? I want to do my 20 push-ups today, and I want to set that date for the company party. I just got to get that on the calendar. I got to sort that out. And we don't want to forget Pepper. She would not be happy if I came home without dog food. Okay, so here's my day. I don't have a lot of work-related things on here today. Maybe today's Saturday and I don't want to, today's not about work. There's a couple things on here, but you know, there can maybe we're trying to buy a new building maybe, so I want to add that too. I want to call the realtor about the new building we're getting. Right, so that's a pretty good list for a lot of people. If they got those things done, that would be a good day. So now you've got this My Day list, and that's it. Now, anywhere you open up Microsoft To Do from, be it on your phone, be it on your tablet, be it inside a web browser, and you open up My Day, all of those items are going to be on here. And if I do nothing with those, and I open up Microsoft To Do tomorrow, it's going to be empty. It didn't delete them, didn't do anything with them. It just says they're not on the current day. It'll be if I were to log in, if I weren't going to do anything with these and then log in tomorrow, my day will be empty. And when I hit the today, they're going to be there again as options for me to add to my day. So it manages that. Are you crossing these off or not? Somebody is saying they're still running Windows 7 and they don't see the ability to flag emails in Outlook, only to red flag them. That should be the same thing. There could be a difference in the version of Outlook you're using, but the red flag is typically will turn it as a task. So try it out and see. So flag an email and then go over to your Outlook tasks and see if that shows up there. If not, it could be the version you're on. Take a look. Thank you for the question. So got this My Day. That's awesome, right? So let's say, okay, today is a good day. I got up. I did I set the date for the company party. So I checked that off. Notice get that satisfaction that it's crossed off. You can't hear it right now, but my computer just dinged, you know, like ringing the bell, like something's done. It's crossed off. Feels so good, right? And I could go in here and I could even add a note because this is something that goes back to something else. I can add a note here, you know, set it for July 3rd, 2020. On my way to go home, get the dog food, check that off, ding, scratches it off, right? And those things will start to disappear from these other tasks as they get done. Maybe I didn't get this one done today. This purchase plane tickets to Hawaii, I didn't manage to get that done today. But you know what? That is just important. I got to really keep that top of mind. So I'm just going to select that. It's now going to show up under my important list. So it's pretty straightforward. Someone's asking about, can to-dos be imported? So the answer is it depends. It depends where those to-dos are coming from. They eventually, Microsoft To-Do actually is the next generation of a product Microsoft bought called Wunderlist. And so if you've got Wunderlist tasks, you can import some of those. There might be some other ways to import in. I can go and look. And then because these synchronize with Microsoft Outlook, Outlook has a pretty powerful importer that'll take a variety of different formats, whether it's a spreadsheet or maybe a different contact management system, and import tasks in. So the answer is likely, but it's going to kind of depend on your own circumstance. Okay. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. It's beauty is in its simplicity, and its effectiveness is in its simplicity. The power really comes from you guys using it. We all know that if you put a pot of water on a stove, it can boil water, right? We all know that. But does knowing actually boil the water? No, it totally doesn't. Like, you got to turn the oven on, right? You got to take some actions here. And for so many things that we've got going on at work, ideas, things we're trying to do to get done at work, to get done at home, things that expand our life in some way, it's getting into action on this stuff. And sometimes it just gets a little overwhelming with all of this. And so Microsoft says, hey, let's kind of take the overwhelm out of this. Let's simplify this. Let's start to kind of chip away at these things by making it easy. When you look at a list of 100 things, it just looks like a list of 100 things. And, when I was a kid, we used to read The Cat in the Hat to our kids. And there's a scene in there in the book where he talks about how the big mess around the house and it's just too big and too tall. Sometimes our to-do lists get like that, just too big and too tall. But if we can put a little structure around it and really just focus on getting those important things done, getting the urgent things done, and getting a few things done every day, it can really do a lot to reduce that overwhelm and really have you be more powerful and effective in everything you're doing. So that's the opportunity. So I invite you to take it on. Try this out, see what you get with it, work with it. If you've got questions, you can give us a call. If you've got ideas you want to share, that's awesome. If you've got ways where you think this could be more powerful, like you want to integrate to-do with something that isn't listed here, there's some ways that it can be done. We can assist with that. If you think there's someone else that could use this conversation and you'd like us to do this webinar for them, we're happy to do that. And we'd love the opportunity for it, because anything that has people more empowered and getting their stuff done, I think is a way more fun way to live. So that's the main thing about Microsoft To Do. Thank you very much. We ended up a little early here. I'm going to take everyone off of the mute here somehow. Where is that? People. So I'm going to unmute everybody. And if you've got any other questions, let us know. We have a mailing list if you'd like to join. If you want to follow us on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, we'd appreciate it. We sometimes announce these webinars, and we also put out helpful tips and things. People really seem to like our newsletter. One of the things I get to do, which I want to thank you for today, because without you it wouldn't be possible, is to be able to speak to you and share these exciting things about technology that really light me up, that really give me a lot of fun, and share that with you guys. Um, so I can do that. And we also speak on other topics, other aspects of Microsoft Office. We do a great cybersecurity webinar. So whether that's for your business or maybe for your school or other organizations you're a part of, let us know. We're happy to do that. And look for that survey, and we'll unmute.